Come with me to spend 4 days in Paris. Upon landing, I wanted to hit the ground running. I was staying at the Hoxton in the second arrondissement, which I'll talk more about at the end of this video. Our first stop was Shakespeare and Company, a bookstore in the Latin Quarter. They don't allow photos or videos inside, and it was really packed inside, but it is really fun to look around. If you buy a book here, they will stamp it. I didn't grab one, but I left with this cute tote bag. Then it was a 5-minute walk to the Notre Dame. You can make a reservation to visit, and these reservations become available 48 hours in advance. I was not able to get a reservation for the afternoon, so we ended up just waiting in the regular line. The regular standby line moved really quickly, and we were in within 15 minutes. I wanted to note that we were there in February. If you're going to be in Paris more peak season, summer, you'll definitely want a reservation from what I've heard, and they are free. We spent about 2 hours looking around at the Notre Dame, and then grabbed an Uber over to the Eiffel Tower for our Seine river cruise. If there is one thing we did this trip that I would not recommend, it is the Seine river cruise at night. I booked this on Get Your Guide for $20, and I had seen a lot of recommendations to do it at night because you get to see the Eiffel Tower sparkle, which was beautiful, but it was really hard to see anything else. Despite having tickets, we also waited in line outside for almost 2 hours. And then the other problem is it's just hard to see the views. Everyone else has their phone up taking videos, which I totally get, but it's not exactly like magical or peaceful at all. On day 2, we're visiting Versailles. Seeing the Palace of Versailles was definitely a lifelong dream. I purchased tickets about a month before, and I purchased the passport ticket, which grants you entry to the palace and then all of the Triomphe estates as well. And I chose a 9:30 entry time, hoping to beat some of the crowds. Getting inside was a super quick process, and then we headed straight to the Hall of Mirrors. This plan worked pretty well. It was fairly empty. There were maybe a dozen other people in there with us. Once we got the Hall of Mirrors checked off, we went back to the beginning and walked through all the rooms we had sort of rushed through on our way. They were beautiful. Even going at such an early time and in February, it was very crowded here, so be aware. The best part of Versailles for me was the gardens. They are just absolutely beautiful. In the winter, a lot of these statues do have these covers on them. I would love to see it in spring someday, but I still thought winter was beautiful. The grounds of Versailles are huge. To go from the palace out to the Triomphe estates is about a 30-minute walk. And then even once you're out there, there's a lot of walking and exploring different routes. So I had seen a lot of people recommend to rent a bike or a golf cart, and since it was winter, we opted for a golf cart. You do need a valid driver's license and a credit card to put down on file. Then they hand you a map and you're on your way. And while you're driving around, the golf cart plays classical music and then also has an audio guide that lets you know what you're looking at.
In the foreground, the Palais Royal, with its central green lawns, some 335 meters long by 64 meters wide, climbs in a gentle slope to the leaf trees, all without heating.
So we took this out to, first we visited the Petit Trianon. Once out here, all the golf carts parked, and then you walk around from place to place. Petit Trianon isn't exactly petite, but it is a smaller chateau than the main one at Versailles. And this was Marie Antoinette's private retreat. Between the estates, there are some secret passageways. This is the secret staircase, which allowed the king to go up to Marie Antoinette's room without being observed by staff. My favorite part of Versailles was the Queen's Hamlet. It's composed of 10 small buildings and set around a lake. And when this was built in 1783, it was built as a fully functional working farm. There are still a lot of farm animals that remain out here. While we enjoy some more scenery from Versailles, I want to talk a little bit about how to get there. If you can believe it, it only cost us $2.55 to get to Versailles. We took the metro from the second arrondissement where we were staying to Invalidades, and then transferred to the RERC, and there were a lot of signs and there were workers around letting us know that yes, this is the train out to Versailles. It was also really quick. We got out to Versailles in about 45 minutes. You can also Uber. It was only like 35 euros the morning that I checked, but obviously taking the train was a lot cheaper. And it also freed up some budget for the golf carts. We had them for about an hour and 45 minutes, and it ended up costing $86.80. Part of the time we had them rented, we weren't driving them, of course, because you take them out to the estate, park them, and then walk around and explore. I actually think this was totally worth it, though. One thing to note about the golf carts is they can only be driven on certain paths. If you take it down a pedestrian-only path, it'll do this.
I'm sorry. This I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, get your bearings. Oh my god.
The Hoxton had a great restaurant and a cute bar, so this is where we went for dinner after Versailles. We were pretty tired and just wanted to lay low. After dinner, we walked over to the Louvre to check it out at night. This was only about a 20-minute walk from our hotel. We woke up on day 3 to a beautiful day. The sun was out. We walked around outside the Louvre again, this time in the daylight. And then we started our walk through the Tuileries gardens on the way to the Arc de Triomphe. It was about a 40-minute walk from here to the Arc, and we really enjoyed it, grabbed a coffee, strolled through the park. It was really pretty. When you finally see the Arc de Triomphe, it's very important that you do not try to cross the street. Find the stairs that take you under the street and let you out on the little island. A lot of tourists don't realize this is an option, and they try to cross the street where there are no stoplights or crosswalks, and it's really dangerous. You can also get ticketed for this. It's illegal. Anyways, take the tunnel like I mentioned. And there are 284 steps to get to the top, so be prepared. I bought tickets in advance. Since it was winter, this only cost 16 euros per person. My tickets actually never arrived to my email, but when I went up to the little desk, they explained this actually happens a lot, and they were able to find them for me no problem. And the view up here is absolutely amazing. It definitely was worth all those stairs. Then we walked around the Champs-Élysées, and then it was time to head to Trocadero. This area is known for its great photo spots of the Eiffel Tower. I also just had a lot of fun wandering around the streets here. They were really quiet and cute. We were able to grab some great photos over here. From Trocadero, we hopped on the metro and headed to Montmartre. As it was already 1 o'clock, first order of business was getting lunch. And since it was a beautiful sunny day, everyone was sitting outside, so we did the same. Sitting outside at a cafe, people watching, and soaking in the ambiance is really one of the best things you can do in Paris.
Merci beaucoup.
Then we hiked the 222 steps up to the top to visit the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. On our way up, we stopped a few times just to sit and enjoy, as you can see all these people doing, and look at the beautiful views of the rest of Paris. Once you're up here, you'll also want to visit the Painter's Square. A lot of people come here to get their portraits painted or sketched. And there are a lot of cute shops and cafes. We popped in one to grab a sweet treat. We headed back to Saint Germain for dinner. We ate at Lulu, which was delicious and had amazing gluten-free options. We wandered back to our hotel, sat by this fountain for a little bit, and then called it a night. Day 4 was my favorite morning in Paris. We started by visiting Copains, which is a completely gluten-free bakery. The employees grab a tray and walk around the store with you, letting you know which each pastry is and what their favorites are. My travel companion has celiacs, so they have not enjoyed baked goods like this in years. This was a real treat. They even have travel boxes here, and so they ended up taking some cakes home. I'm not gluten-free, so I stopped into a boulangerie for a French baguette. Then we walked to the beautiful Luxembourg Gardens. We spent some time here wandering around. I love that even in the middle of winter, it was so crowded and people were out enjoying the day.
That's so pretty.
Walk over the bridge.
We walked to Les Marais next. I grabbed a Spanish cortado at a coffee shop called Sevenly Heart. We sat for a long time in Place de Vosges. After people watching in the park for a bit, we decided to go check out some shops. This display was in a sunglasses store, and a lot of people were stopping fascinated by it. So, Les Marais is a really, really recommended and hyped up neighborhood in Paris, and I hate to say that we did not love it. It was nice, it just wasn't like so much more amazing than anything else we saw, which is what I was expecting from people's reviews. We did visit here the Museum of Paris, which has free entry. We roamed around a bit, and we did struggle finding a place to eat over here. I also noticed a lot of the cafes' prices in the Marais were a lot higher than the other neighborhoods we had previously been in. All in all, my favorite neighborhood in Paris was definitely the Latin Quarter. It was lively, it had so much to do, it was beautiful, and I just really loved the energy there. This was supposed to be my last day. Because of a blizzard in New York, I got stuck in Paris an extra day. Unfortunately, it was a Monday, so a lot of museums were closed. I had no plans, so I wandered around and revisited two of my favorite places, one being Copains for an almond croissant and a matcha, and the other was Lulu, where I got the Bali bowl. And then a quick overview of the Hoxton. I did book with the Amex Platinum, so I got $300 back on my statement credit from staying here, as this is part of their hotel collection. For 4 nights, it was $1,700, which I didn't think was terrible compared to other hotels I checked out in the area. And this room is called the Biggie Terrace. The room was clean and the service was great. The Hoxton had multiple bars and a restaurant off the courtyard as well, so there were always people out and about when we got home, which was really nice. We did have a little table and chairs looking out at the terrace, but it was the middle of winter, so we didn't spend any time out there. Until next time, Paris.